Hey everybody, welcome to Enamored Movie Reviews. Tonight we're going to dive right into this Blue Beetle discussion. However, tonight is going to be a tad bit different. I didn't choose to do a review. Of course, everyone knows that like the movie review section on YouTube is a tad bit oversaturated, and everyone was on top of the Blue Beetle review. Like everyone went to go see that movie, and I just didn't really feel the need to do a review. I'm pretty sure you guys have figured out what you want to do with that. I'm going to do a full review of the movie. We're going to discuss it, and it's going to have spoilers. So, as always, I'm letting you know if you don't want to be, if you haven't seen it and you don't want it to be spoiled, please leave now. But before you do, hit that subscribe button because I promise you'll like it after you watch the film. So, I guess just tell me, how did you feel? How did you feel about it?
I think I actually enjoyed the movie. Of course, I got feedback from you 1st on the movie. So I didn't have those. You said you had a couple tearjerker moments. I think
I did, and I'm softy. I'm a bit of a softy when it comes
I did
to
have
movies, man.
one. I will admit that I did have one, but I was expected to be in there. I had tissue and everything, just expected to be in there, just like bawling my eyes out.
You took tissue in the theater because I said that?
Of course.
What,
I
you
have to
thought
be
this
prepared.
was like Black Panther or something?
No, but I didn't know what was going to happen, so I had to be prepared. You get what I'm saying? So I can't be in there looking foolish, you know. But there was a touching scene in there for me.
Which one was it?
Oh, this is spoiler, so I can say it.
Yeah,
So
I was wondering, like, why you not
right.
just say what it is?
When the dad went into cardiac arrest.
Oh, right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And so when he actually passed, I was just like, oh, gosh, no, not Poppy. But, yeah. So that was
I think for me it was when he saw him again.
Oh, yes.
Where he
yes.
was,
when he told him it was not his time.
It wasn't his time, and he let him know, you know, like, keep pushing, man. You got a job to do, you know.
Right.
So
right.
that kind of that really resonated with me, man. I really enjoyed that scene.
Well, I enjoyed it overall. I really enjoyed it. I think I even texted you during the movie and was like, George Lopez is
you did.
stupid. Oh my god. I've always loved George Lopez, but oh my gosh, he nailed this role.
He did.
He made this movie incredibly funny.
He did.
So I really enjoyed it, and the Nana did as well.
Didn't she? I was just about to ask you how you felt about her.
Yeah, she did as well. So I really enjoyed it. I think they did a phenomenal job on it. You know, I didn't know what a Blue Beetle was.
To be honest with you, and let me go ahead and address that for you guys. I was actually doing some research on Blue Beetle. I am not familiar with Blue Beetle at all. However, I do lean DC when it comes to like DC and Marvel. I lean DC, and I have never heard of Blue Beetle. But I'm also not the biggest comic nerd out there, right? So my father is he's pretty big on comics. But I'm kind of like a little bit, I would say middle ground. So I'm a little bit above your average comic fan, but I'm not super duper like into it. However, I have never heard of Blue Beetle. So I did a little research, and then I said, so I do know some backstory on Blue Beetle now, but I'm not even going to share it. And you know the reason why? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm not going to share it though, because I'm learning that with these movies, it's kind of like Blindside, and you all heard about what's going on with that, right? It's kind of like that. These movies are loosely based on, and we're going to say fact. In fact, when we say fact, we're saying canon. So canon meaning what was written by the original authors or whatever, right? So we're going to say these movies are loosely based on canon, right? So you have to take it for whatever they're trying to create in the new DCEU. in which historically DC sucks. But anyway, that we're gonna dive into that as well. But DC is horrible, man. They have been horrible with movies. I would say overall with what they've been trying to do with the DCEU, not necessarily all the properties that they have control over, but just the DCEU in general, and trying to compete with that Marvel side. They have been horrible, and Blue Beetle is not that though. Blue Beetle is actually pretty good. So again, I'm gonna take everything I know about Blue Beetle and just say, hey, you know what? I only know whatever the movie presented, and I'm gonna move forward with that. Because I think we let ourselves up and then we get let down. And then, because certain things change in the story and everybody's like, oh, I didn't care for that because that's not how it went. Right. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just enjoy the movie for the movie. Y'all kind of got to get out of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But where was I going? Oh, we were talking about Nana and George Lopez. Yes. And so and that was really refreshing to me, was just the fact that they kind of like, I'm not going to say it was Black Pantherish. It was nowhere near how Black Panther kind of uplifted like the black community. And I'm not going to say they uplifted the Hispanic community or the Latin heritage or whatnot. And forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, y'all.
They were Mexican.
They were Mexican. So what does that mean? Hispanics?
I think
you said that. You need to know. You just interrupted me and said that, miss. You need to know. Anyway.
I guess I wanted you to narrow it down
because I don't know.
More because they did say, like, because the girl indicated that she was Mexican.
Right.
So I guess I wanted you to narrow it down because I think that
I know there's a difference. I don't think that I'm aware of the difference.
Right, but I have had, even growing up, I have had friends that would be like, no, I'm Mexican, I'm not Latino. So it's but I'm
not 100% sure that all of those, they all had Spanish backgrounds,
right,
or Hispanic backgrounds, or whatever. And I really need to figure this out. But they all had those backgrounds. But that doesn't mean that they all come from the same area. Right. So it could have been both Latin and Hispanic. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? It could have been because we don't know. Because old girl was giving me Ariana Grande, his little love interest. She was giving me Ariana Grande mixed with Zendaya vibes. Yeah. I had never seen her before.
She's actually Brazilian.
Is she? Yeah. See, and I know that's totally different because they speak Portuguese. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, hey, y'all didn't know I knew that. So, anyway, that's what I'm saying. So, it's so totally culture. It's so diverse, which leads me to this point, man. I want to show you guys something real quick. This is irritating me. And, and this is not from the studio. However, it seems to be when I looked into it more that it was one of those things where it was kind of loosely from the studio, right? It was loosely from the studio, which really had me in a... This was before I even seen the movie. It really had me in a... tizzy for like a week. Because I was like, you guys are really going to sit here and say that if Blue Beetle doesn't perform well, it means that we don't want to see Latin heritage movies. Right. Basically, I know that's not exactly how that's worded, but that's what everybody pretty much received from that nonsense.
Right.
You're going to tell me that? Man, I was so upset because I'm like, no, I actually want to see more diversity in movies. I want to, when I go to the movies, I'm actually looking for something different. Right. I'm tired of getting this same cookie cutter mold BS that y'all keep serving. And then the fact that y'all keep thinking that a box office performance is an indicator of how the movie is received.
I actually think that it has nothing to do with the performance of the movie itself. A lot of people fail to realize that a lot of times a movie flops because of how the movie is written. It's not necessarily because we've seen some movies lately that it's a flop, but it's not because of the actors that are in it. They played their roles with the script that they were given. sometimes the writing is just horrible. So
correct.
Blue Beetle shouldn't have been depicted based off of the actors in the movie. Maybe the writer just didn't get it right. The cast did phenomenal. So the diversity should still be there. Who's to say we wouldn't want to still see Hispanic actors in future movies just because Blue Beetle didn't make it?
Makes no sense.
That's on your writers and your producers and directors. That has nothing to do with your actors. So for that statement to be released by whomever.
Yeah, and I don't think that was really, like I said, I think that they were getting that from execs, but you know how you want to say something off the record.
Right.
So, and that's the vibe that I got, you know, searching the comments and everything, but I think that's total, but it wouldn't surprise me if this really did come from them, because these people are crazy, man. Like, to me, they are completely out of touch. And I'm talking about all these major studios. They completely out of touch. Heck, the only studio that's really shaking things up at the moment is A24. You know, like they're the only ones that seem to have their finger on the pulse, so to speak. The rest of these studios are freaking delusional, man. Right. Freaking delusional, man. I'm talking about Disney as well. I'm talking about all of them. They're about. We know they're delusional. They are absolutely delusional, man. With all this, is what. But you're gonna make that statement. It sounds to me just came off. It just came off racist. Right. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm not attributing that to any particular studio, because again, it was one of those. It was coming from somebody. You know what I'm saying? From somebody. So I'm not attributing that. But it wouldn't surprise me if they did say that nonsense. And it really ticked me off. And then the performance, by the way, again, when I said it wasn't an indicator, Blue Beetle in its previews, what they call previews, like any early release, anything before the official release date. You know, we usually go catch a movie early so we can do a review. Right. Like on a Thursday. Right. So we went to go see it. It only performed at 3.3 million. And let me see. Right here we have, where is it at? At the bottom. Blue Beetle, 3.3 million. This is the previews. And so we have, for instance, Ant-Man 3, Across the Spider-Verse. So you see they were around 17 or so. Right. Shazam 2, I expected to be poor as well, but you know, it wasn't that great. However, Blue Beetle, I'm telling you guys, is actually a good movie. So if I'm telling you that it's a good movie, and I'm not saying I'm the number one person to tell you about stuff like this, however I'm aiming to be, right? Right. Blue Beetle is a very good film. Oh yeah, definitely worth seeing. Definitely worth going to the theater to see. Absolutely. Even though I've heard that it was actually meant to go straight directly to Max or something like that. It was, I think, originally set to just go directly there, but they chose to go. I'm glad it actually went to the theater, because the action single scenes were great. Comedy was hitting. It's literally like you guys waited until now. Right. After all this time, you guys finally waited until now to get it right. And you know, matter of fact, here's a little meme I found, man. You see the Marvel characters like, this is DCU. This is what it's supposed to be. Like, you know, but look at that audience score though. Right. Look, I'm not talking about your critics with the 77. Right. You know, I think those guys are kind of out of touch because they've been doing this mess too long. I really feel that way now. I think that critics have matter of fact, I was on another channel in the chat with another guy, and matter of fact, I mentioned him before, Zach Milne. I actually really enjoy this guy's channel. He's actually really good. Right. And I had stated that when I used to be a general manager of a restaurant, it was hard for me to go to a restaurant and just enjoy the meal. And that was because I would start critiquing way too much. But it was like subconsciously. I wasn't even trying to do it, but subconsciously I'm just critiquing, and I'm not really enjoying the meal. Right. And it's the same thing I catch myself doing when I do these movie reviews. and I'm just critiquing, and I'm not necessarily enjoying what I'm watching anymore. Because I'm too focused on way too much.
Right.
And it's kind of like we were just watching Teal, and of course you guys know we didn't do the review on Teal. I don't know why we didn't miss. Maybe we hadn't even started at that time. I'm not sure, but no, I think we were. But I just,
we just
for some reason we just didn't do it, and I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. I was watching Teal, and I haven't finished it yet, but I wasn't into it. Mm-hmm. And it's not that it's not that I don't have empathy for the story. Of course I do. Mm-hmm. I didn't connect to the movie.
Right.
And then I'm up there, but the crazy part is I start talking through the movie and having the dialogue with you, talking about, well, I feel as if this movie just isn't connecting with me, and the reason why is because it started off slow, and they seemed as if they rushed it. And I'm like, okay, that's how I feel critics be doing during the movie, and
they're not only just that, they're looking at the cinematics of it, so it's not just the movie itself that they're focused on. They're trying to look for stuff in the background, what was missed. Because I found myself actually doing that with Teal during the scene when she finally saw his body, and I was like, oh, well, I can tell they cut here because she was snotting out of one nose, and now she's snotting out the other one. The other one's completely clear. So I think that they lose focus of actually, like you said, enjoying the movie itself because you're too busy looking at all of the extra.
Right. It's like you're looking at and in this instance, it's kind of reversed. So it's like you kind of looking at the, no, it's not. Excuse me. I said that wrong. You're looking at the trees versus the forest.
Right.
Right. You're nitpicking on, the lighting was incorrect here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What were they doing right there? And why did they jump from here to here? And you're not looking at the compilation of the whole.
Right.
And the compilation of the whole is this movie is pretty good.
Right.
Which brings us right back to Blue Beetle. This movie is actually really good, especially for a DC effort.
Right.
Because, I mean, historically, again, DC sucks. And but do they really? And by DC, I'm talking about DCEU, because when you talk about, I tell everyone all the time, if you like DC Comics, and I know you saw me watching the stuff, the animated, there's I forget what it's called, but it starts with, I believe, a Justice League movie. It goes all, and it ends with it starts with Flashpoint Paradox. Oh my gosh. Y'all start with Flashpoint Paradox and go all the way down to Justice League Dark Apocalypse, something like that's missing me at the moment. But listen, that has to be the best, like superhero anything that I have ever seen, any compilation of films that I've ever seen. To me, it's just to me, but I'm a DC guy. It beats all the Marvel stuff. Really, it really does. And Marvel's been pretty good. They've been hitting it. They're getting kind of. They're losing their way now. Maybe it's because they're doing the same thing over and over.
I think they keep trying to retell a story over and over, but in a new way. Mm-hmm. That's how it's coming off. With Marvel.
Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying too, man. It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they kind of messed up with this whole, moving stuff to the TV series, which it started off good. You remember, like, we was watching Loki, and heck, you were into, you know what I'm saying? So, and you're not the biggest superhero type of person, so, and it was pretty good. Like, Loki was really good. I actually liked WandaVision. Mm-hmm. Do you remember WandaVision when it first started? But then it got kind of, after that, it kind of lost it. We did stick around for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's with black guy.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
I'm so sorry, fella. I'm missing your name right now, but he's actually a pretty decent actor. Mm-hmm. But it went to him, and we were just like, after that it was like, the Hulk. You remember we started watching She-Hulk?
Yeah.
And
and
then,
at that point it was kind of like,
right. That's what I'm saying. So
we pretty much kind of started really falling off at that point. It was like, And
it's a bit difficult, I would say, like, with Blue Beetle, man. how do you take a superhero origin story? Because that's what this is, right? A superhero origin story. We're just being introduced to him. How did he become Blue Beetle? Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
How do you take a superhero origin story and make it fresh?
Right.
And that's what I kind of did. I think they did here. At least in my opinion, I have seen other people say, it's the same old, same old.
Right.
But I think it was a tad bit different. Okay, you have your Hispanic heritage, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That was different. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of another one except for a side character in the Avengers. He's like a side character. I think he's a mutant actually. But anyway, I saw that, but that was real brief, you know.
Right.
And I can't think of another one. And then the other mutant, Namor from Black Panther, the one that fought Shuri. I think her name is Shuri. His sister.
Right.
Yeah, but other than that, what else we really got as far as like, you know, there's a side character never been like the main thing.
Right.
So that was different, and kind of like this kind of gave me. I will say they rehashed old themes. Like I kind of got like Black Panther vibes. I actually got Hulk vibes from it, and you probably don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm pretty sure the people listening do. So he didn't have like another enemy, so to speak, to fight. He was actually fighting against the government. He was actually fighting the military. And he was trying to get, basically kind of get away, get his freedom, you know, be left alone. He was fighting the military. And in this one, they're fighting a paramilitary, basically, which is the company, what's it, Pegasus? What Pegasus again? What was the name of this company?
Actually, it was.
It was Pegasus again? It seemed like everybody naming their companies Pegasus. Maybe it was. No, I don't think it was Pegasus.
It was.
Let's check Google.
Let's see what Google said.
Cord Industries. It was not Pegasus. Google, trusty old Google, just let us know.
Right.
I don't know how I forgot that. It actually, they said it quite a bit throughout the film. Yeah. So this was the he is the, according to the movie, the second iteration of Blue Beetle. But there could have been thousands of more because this is a very old technology from a quote unquote alien race. Zolo Mariana, I believe is his name. He played this role very well, in my opinion. It's the gentleman from the YouTube Red series that started off Cobra Kai, which is now part of Netflix. You realize that, right?
I knew he had looked familiar, so of course I had to look him up. But
yes, he plays I don't know what his name is on the Netflix special, but he plays a very convincing role on there as well. A little kid, you know, teenager. Right. Pretty sure this guy's in his mid-20s now at this point, but he's doing pretty well. I like him. He actually, you know, I wish he would cut his hair, make it a little short. That's just a pet, I guess, something on mine. It's a little too thick, don't you think? Like his hair just seemed a little too thick. Like he got all this sideburn action going on, man. Just shave that thing, get a nice cut or something, man. I don't know, something, you know, something nice. But
I like it. I like it.
You like it thick like that? I just think it was too much hair, man. He got too much hair. It's kind of like the same hairstyle he got in Cobra Kai, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So I guess he just likes it like that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
But I just feel like I think he'll be a pretty decent actor. I hope he don't necessarily get stuck in this whole action and kung fu. But when have we ever seen a Hispanic, I would say, kung fu fighter? And if there is one, y'all let me know in the comments, because I'm not familiar with a Hispanic kung fu fighter. Are you?
No. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can't think of one. And I would say let's go to Google, but I'm about to wrap this up pretty soon. But I have no idea who it. I have never heard of one. But that's different, man. That's something that we haven't seen.
They are going to be in the comments with a whole list. Just so
I hope they are, man. Because I've never heard of such a thing. But anyway, I think that would be awesome for movies. I mean, we got Asians.
Right.
We got a few blacks out there that, you know, that do it. Just a few, not a whole lot, but we got Chuck Norris.
Right.
Well, we had Chuck Norris. He done retired, and well, I can't say retired, but I ain't seen him in forever. But I've never seen a Hispanic brother be a kung fu artist, not to my knowledge. Our sister. Haven't seen either one. But he plays a very convincing role at it though. I have to say that. And his acting skills aren't that bad either. You know, I'm not saying he's the greatest, but it's not bad.
You know what? Hold on. I need to revert back just because this has been on my mind. You said this kind of gave you hope vibes of this movie. Why did I get Power Ranger vibes?
What? Oh, well, the suit.
I did. Once he had the suit on and he broke the sword out and he would drag it.
Yeah.
It gave me Power Ranger vibes. I was like, okay.
I'm not gonna stunt though. That scene was kind of nice though, man. When he hit that thing.
What was the deal with? And this was, I guess, a nice little twist to the movie. With him not wanting to kill. He was like, we don't kill.
Right.
And of course, you know, as the suit began to learn him.
They connected,
Right. And so when he was at the point where he was like, look, I'm just going to kill this guy, then the suit was like, no.
So that's something
That's something
that kind of differs from the comics a little bit. However, we're going to lean into the movie. So, according to the movie, you know, they wavelengths connected. Right. And that was when, like, as my son would say, he went, oh, to me, you know, Sonic. He's Gold Sonic now.
Right.
But that's when they finally got together and got on par with one another, then they were, like, in sync. Mm-hmm. So, the Scarab got in sync with him, and now, so I guess the wheels are one and the same. They can kind of help one another, so to speak, you know. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how I felt about it because I feel like that's really naive. I always felt that way with superheroes. This whole don't kill thing is pretty naive. Because at times you kind of got to do what you got to do. There's a time for everything. Even the word tells us that. It's time to kill. There's time to... it ain't say nothing about time to steal. But it's a time. It's a time for everything. So, you know, certain situations do call for you just going ahead and eliminating the factor altogether. I feel like, I don't think that guy necessarily needed to be dead. Yeah, but did he really feel like a villain, though? Let me jump into that. I'm going to sidetrack for a second. Did he feel like a villain?
He didn't. He just seemed like an angry man at first. It was just like, I'm doing what I'm told to do.
Yeah, it kind of, I didn't really buy it. I will say, if there was a downside to this movie, it was really him and the villainy type of thing. I didn't really buy his whole character of being at first it came off like just a gun for hire. Mm-hmm, yeah. Then they tried to play him off with this whole backstory that I didn't necessarily really dig into. However, I did sympathize with it. Mm-hmm. I sympathized with it, and I was like, damn, that's pretty sad, man. That's messed up, man. She did that to him. Right. But now, if you want to talk about a villain, she played the role of a villain.
She was really one.
She did that thing.
Right.
I have to say she played that role because
she did.
She fit that to a T. I ain't saying on a personal level, but she fit that to a T.
In my mind, at first, I couldn't get past. She played in a movie with Alfre Woodard, where, you know, she was getting sick and dying. And so at first, I couldn't get past. I was like, oh no.
I guess it's just so many characters I'm trying to keep in my head, man. Mm-hmm. Anyway, she that was a very convincing performance, guys.
Definitely.
She pretty much to me, I'm not gonna say she stole the show, but she darn sure contributed to the show. Mm-hmm. Very much so. She was like really cold, man. This chick was cold hearted, bro. Cold blooded for real. Straight killer.
Right.
She had no F's given. I'll say that. There was no F's given. I'll just let y'all know, man. This woman was off the chain, man. Very, very good.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, the only downside I could see was I didn't really buy into the whole villainy of my guy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. Like I said, I sympathize. I just didn't buy into it.
Right.
Other than that, everything else was pretty solid, man. I again, to iterate, I liked the grandma. Everything was pretty solid with this film. I definitely want to see another one.
Oh,
I'll say that. I definitely would like to see another one.
The only so, of course, you know, at the end there are two extended clips, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I don't know the cartoon that was played on the second one, but I was like, was it really necessary? I was like, you could have told me just that.
Well, I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to see
okay.
it. So I knew it was 2 because I looked it up. Our son wouldn't let me watch it. He said, I got to go. So he got to leave. I said, oh, wait, man, there's another one.
Right.
Everybody else is gone. There's nothing left. I said, boy.
It was actually, I will honestly say that you didn't miss anything on the second one. So if you saw the first.
I know what it is, though.
If you saw.
I just hadn't seen it. I saw what they said. It's like I was saying earlier, and I'm glad you brought it up. We're not familiar with a lot of their culture, because these studios, and I guess I can't put all the blame on studios, but these studios and television networks, they don't show us their stuff like that. So that's what that was a reference that they made in the movie. They were making a reference to that cartoon. But I wanted to see it, but again, he wouldn't let me. So I'll probably go back and watch it though.
Well, unless you have, when you watch it on either the TV or the tablet, unless you have subtitles that's going to translate it for you, you're not going to know. So it's literally just, and it's very short. Not even maybe a minute long. Maybe I'm pushing it to say maybe a minute long clip of the cartoon. But unless you know Spanish, which God bless your heart, you don't. So unless you have some subtitles on to translate it for you, it's just you're just watching a clip of the cartoon.
Well, I'll say this, man. Speaking of that, because there was a scene in there where they didn't give context.
There was actually a couple of them
where they didn't give subtitles.
Right.
Or I would say, well, I can't say context, but I'll go ahead and say they didn't give context either to what it was being said.
I think I could understand. Well, no, I can't speak Spanish, but certain words I can pick up on. However,
I was gonna say I think that's kind of due to English language. We can understand in English a lot of things due to people's body language and the fact that the English language is born of a lot of languages, so there's a lot used within. Well, you get what I'm saying. So a lot of times we can figure stuff out.
That I did take Spanish, so we are not going to discredit that either. So
okay,
we're going to give some credit to that as well.
No, we do no such a thing.
Yes, we will. Because I took Spanish for 2 years, so absolutely, we will give that some credit. However, yeah. Don't be mad. But yeah, I guess if I knew a little bit more about it, I think that scene probably meant just as much as the first clip. The first extended clip. So I guess I got some homework to do to try and figure it out. But
for sure, man.
You got some homework to do too, because you didn't.
Anyway, let's wrap this up, man. Great conversation, by the way. Thank you for going to see it. Even though you should be thanking me for asking you to go see it, because obviously you enjoyed it. Especially after going to see Back on the Strip, which you told me was horrible. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed,
don't go see it. That's it. That's all you're getting out of me. There's my clip.
Wow, really?
There is my 60-second review. There is all there is to it. Yeah. Don't even waste your time.
Listen,
don't
man.
even stream it. You don't need to stream it at all.
Oh my gosh, she's not even gonna let me close.
Oh yeah, sorry, we're closing Blue Beetle. Sorry.
Lord have mercy, man.
With that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to know when we're going to go live with another review and discussion. But y'all give us some feedback. Let us know what you thought about the movie when you do go see